I'm Tiffany Beltran with Keller Williams Realty, licensed New Jersey broker salesperson and salesperson in Pennsylvania. And I'm here at my listing, 91 Woodmere Ave in Mays Landing, and we close tomorrow. And I just wanted to share how amazing this transaction went. It's truly been one of the most beautiful displays of holiday spirit I've ever seen. So I'm here with the seller, Lynielle, and take it away, Lynielle.
I called you because I was really interested in selling my home. I have two girls, and my youngest girl, she's graduating high school in the spring. So I thought this was a good time to put the house on the market. Had a bit of a concern with the interest rates rising the way they did, but I noticed in my neighborhood there was a home that recently sold that was similar to my home, this model here. And I figured, okay, I like the marketing that was done for that home, the beautiful pictures. There was also a video, and I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to meet the agent. So Tiffany, I called you. It was supposed to be a total of 4 agents that I was going to interview prior to making a decision. You were agent number 3. I remember when you came there to the home that night, we met, and I knew it was a great chance that I was going to go with you, but I still wanted to follow through with the 4th agent that I had scheduled for the next day. But I like what you stated, you know, your marketing strategy was on par with what I was looking for, you know, an agent. I knew that I would be in good hands with you, and I was really excited, you know, to go forward if that were to be the case, because I figured you would have a lot of connections that I could use for selling this home, because you were fresh off selling the previous home around the corner. So I did tell you though that I wanted to wait and I'll make the final decision the next morning. And I remember shortly after you left, you called me from your car, your vehicle, and you stated, hey, you know, I have a buyer that is, you know, maybe interested in coming through tonight. They just left from seeing a home, but they want to see your home. You know, if you sign with me, you know, I can make that happen for you. Needless to say, I signed with you, Tiffany, and you had those buyers come through, a husband and wife. The couple came through that night. Very nice couple. They wanted to make a decision the next day, but they did end up going with another home, which is fine. And we talked about possibly selling the home prior to you having it on the market to see how that goes. And we did have a few showings, but the house went on the market right the Friday after Thanksgiving. So that was exciting because you even posted it as a coming soon feature. So I do like that because it got activities, people were able to see it prior to it actually being on the market. And that first day that it was on the market, we had, you know, someone come through and a few, you know, visits over the weekend for showings, and we got the offer the next day, you know, on the home. And prior to me accepting that offer, I was really, you know, I like what the family had to offer. Not meeting them in person, but, you know, they definitely sound like they were a nice family, look good on paper. So we were going to go with accepting the offer for, you know, it was $5,000 over asking price.
Yeah, they had the escalation.
Right, and then they would go up to an additional $5,000, up to $450,000.
With the competing offer?
Yes, with the competing offer. So that was exciting. It felt right. But then out of nowhere, prior to, you know, signing with that buyer, it was a cash buyer. I remember that cash buyer who had initially, you know, they toured the home prior to it being on the market. They came with an asking price that was $15,000 over. It was even more than the buyer that I was going to accept the offer. And that was even more exciting at the time, but it did not feel right. I don't know what it was about the cash buyer. I mean, who gives up, you know, turns down a cash offer, but it didn't feel right for some reason. I realized that the initial offer, it felt better. Tiffany and I, we discussed it, you know, it didn't feel right not to take that family's offer. I felt like they really, really wanted the home. I felt like that would be a perfect family. You know, they have children as well. I could just envision them raising their children here in this home. So we did go with the initial offer, you know, and I never have any second guesses about that opportunity, you know, to take their offer. So I know that it was the right decision to make.
Yeah, it just felt right. And I love that we were both on the same page about that. And I remember hearing the cash buyer's agent tell me that they were under contract a couple times, but then it always fell through during the home inspection.
Right.
So I remember we were going to go with them, and then you asked me to ask them who was the home inspector, and you did your due diligence and found out that that home inspector was known as the deal killer.
Yes.
So there was just a couple things that didn't sit
well
with us. Yeah, like little things like that. So, and the fact that they saw the house before we put it on the market and then didn't move forward until last minute, unlike our buyers now, it's like they knew what they wanted, they went for it, they gave their best. Whereas the cash buyers, they were more nonchalant about it. They didn't seem like this was a big deal for them.
I agree 100%, and that was definitely another factor that you just mentioned, because they had the opportunity. I remember you telling them whether, you know,
you got first dibs.
Exactly. You know, it's not even on the market. And they were going to decide like a day or so. They wanted to see another property. So, you know, in hindsight, this house may have even been a backup situation for them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or maybe they didn't want it as much, because that's how I felt. Nothing personal for me. You know, a buyer has a right to choose whatever home, of course.
Right.
But those are all factors, you know, with us deciding that the other family, you know, they were the right buyers versus this great cash offer. For me, it's not all about the money. You know, I feel like the family that, you know, that we selected, you know, they checked a lot of boxes, you know, and again, I've never looked back and felt as if I made the wrong decision with, you know, selecting Tiffany as my agent, you know, to market, you know, and list this house and sell it, but also, you know, throughout the entire process, you know, I really do feel that, you know, we work well together and we selected the right family to purchase this home.
Yep, I totally agree, and I really respect the fact that you weren't just about money. And you know, I can't make you pick an offer. Sure. That's your decision. So the fact that you went with the buyers that we went with, I just love that, because you weren't greedy. You got what you wanted, which was full asking price and then some, 5,000 over. And you know, you cared that they were good people. And I'm so grateful that I attracted you. We attracted each other, because it's just like attracts like.
Sure.
And then we attracted great people too, and even their agent was amazing.
Yes,
so it was just like all these great
vibes.
It just felt right. And the transaction has been so smooth. They did home inspections. They didn't ask for a thing like they promised. You were able to give them so much furniture and toys, and they were so grateful. The buyers actually emailed me, which is not protocol. Usually, like, we don't, you know, talk to another agent's clients, but they emailed me and expressed how grateful they were, and really like made me want to cry, because they told me a little bit about their story, that, you know, it's been a rough year for them and this meant so much for them, and that just solidified that we definitely made the right decision.
Definitely made the right decision.
And now we closed in 24 days, which is almost unheard of right now in today's market. It's slowed down since the last 2 years, so 24 days is impressive. You got what you wanted.
Definitely.
You said you wanted to move out before Christmas. I said, bet, let's do it. I love a challenge.
Like exactly.
And I think you loved my confidence.
I do like that. That went a long way. You know, you definitely made these things happen, you know, and you stayed on top of whatever it needed to take in order for this to occur. So I really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
You know, you did not let me down. You know, you never know what you're going to get.
Right.
You know,
well, we all take a risk.
Exactly. You take the risk. You know, you meet with agents.
And you signed with your rental.
Yes.
Before we even went under contract, so everything was in faith.
And that's what I feel. I really do believe that I'm not that type of person. You know, I'm not impulsive. I'm not going to make decisions. I don't put the cart before the horse, so to speak. However, it just felt right, you know, and I'm also one to go with my gut. Every time I don't go with my gut feeling, you know, I live to regret it. So things lined up, and that's another aspect that you just mentioned. You know, I am going into a rental property, and before I had the house on the market, I did look to see what would be available for rentals. And right after I signed with Tiffany, I received a text message from the rental property, the community that I'm actually moving into. Exactly. She was just following up to say, hey, you know, I know that you came in a month ago to look at these two models. we have both of them available. If you're still interested, let me know. And then in addition to that, she also informed me that, oh, the rent, we have price drops on rent. This is a great time to rent.
Wow.
So everything, that just solidified, what I was feeling, from every aspect of this process. And not one time did I have that, that sickening feeling in my gut, that makes me, it indicates that, something's not quite right. It hasn't occurred, and I can definitely appreciate that.
Yes.
I know that, this is the perfect timing. I did my research, just to see whether or not this would be the right time. You're looking at, late fall, you're going into the winter. Is it really ideal? I'm looking at the interest rates, but knowing that they're going to rise even more, there's a great chance that they would. I knew this had to be the time, because in full disclosure, my initial thoughts were to sell the home in the spring after my daughter graduated high school. But then I was like, why wait? Let's do it. I felt like it was either now, or I'm going to regret it, to do it later. So all aspects, it lined up, for me. I think in every aspect of the situation, it was just a great fit. I think for everyone who were involved,
And I think it's important we share this story because it matters who you partner with. Now is always a great time, despite what the market is saying. If you meet with a professional that knows what they're doing and that has, your motivation and your best interest in mind, we're going to work towards your goals, regardless of what they are. And you got everything you wanted. You didn't want it to sit during the winter.
Exactly.
You got the price you wanted. We agreed on the price, and we were able to sell this before Christmas. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity.
I'm grateful, that you did what you said you're going to do. You didn't prove me wrong in selecting you. Never second guessed the experience. The whole process was great. Whenever it is that I didn't understand something, wanted something to be clarified, you were great with that. Always accessible. That's like one of my, main, concerns with regarding, certain situations. But you were definitely open. You made yourself available, and I do appreciate that because that goes a long way.
You're very welcome. And you were like the best seller I could have ever asked for.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yes, you got everything done as well. You were super easy to talk to. You trusted in me, and that's what's most important. So again, I appreciate the opportunity. And excited for you to start this new chapter.
I appreciate that. And I just want to add again, we talked about the photographer, Anthony. He came out to my home, and I try not to micromanage because I know he is professional, and I did explain that to him, but I just wanted to point out that, that part of the process was great as well, because that was one of my concerns. I didn't want my house to be marketed a certain way.
Right.
I wanted to have that professional look, That experience, it exceeded my expectations, I watched the video that, was filmed for this home as if I was watching my home for the first time. I was so excited. This is my home. I've been here for 14 years, and to see that on footage the way that I was able to experience, I could not have asked for anything better. The photos of the home showed really well, as compared to, opposed to other homes that you may see on the market. You see the
top
photographer.
tier.
Yeah, exactly, for
Everything.
sure. I really couldn't have asked for anything more, so I do appreciate that as well.
That's great. So when you partner with Tiffany,
Exactly.
you're going to
It's
get
a full
the best,
package.
full
Exactly.
package, top tier marketing,
Yes.
and I'm so glad that you enjoyed the experience.
Definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.